I'm at the Burbank Service Center in Burbank, California, about to drive this really cool white Performance Model 3. Here's what I'm about to drive. Acceleration, chill, standard. Let's do insane. 1, 2, boom, 80. Going over the line just like everyone else. Feels like driving the way I would. Alright, that's enough of that. Let's go. So, I'm about to drive this Tesla Performance Model 3. They gave me the keys and about to head out right now. Try to keep it under 100. Here's what I'm about to drive. Performance with the ludicrous insert on the seats. Custom bucket seats. All the standard features of LED lighting. This one has a carbon fiber looking dash. Rear seats are pretty much the same as a standard model. But here's where the changes start. Acceleration, chill, standard. Let's do insane. Of course, you got your sport pedals. And this one, interesting, it has all black interior. I thought the Performance had also the white inserts, but maybe they have the option now. I just got back from driving the Performance Model 3 here at X Takeover, and pretty amazing. Insane amount of power, literally. What I'm gonna say is, if you want a car to take to the track, you want incredible power all the time, this car is amazing. If you need a daily driver that's just fun, I think the dual motor Model 3 will be plenty fast. This one is just crazy fast. It almost hurts when you accelerate. 0 to 60 is just wild. 50 to 80 is just so quick. It's more car than most people need, but if you take your car to the track, if you're gonna use it, if you're gonna use track mode, then you might consider this. Otherwise, it's probably more than you need. Also, you have to consider the suspension, the tires, the wheels. Everything has got a firmer ride, so for your daily drive, it may not be as quite as comfortable as the dual motor. The dual motor is very comfortable, very smooth on the bumps. This one's a little firmer suspension. You got the low profile tires. So it's fun, but it might be more than you need if you're not a super track enthusiast. So super excited. I get to drive the Model 3 Performance again here at Burbank Service Center, Burbank, California. This will be my second drive in the Performance Model 3. And the first time I drove at the X Takeover was really cool, but I wanted to get a feel for it again. It's much stiffer suspension and ride and handling than the base and the dual motor Model 3. So I wanted to take it out for a drive again and see if this is something that would be a good daily driver or not. And I've driven this route before with the other versions, the single motor and the dual motor, and really enjoyed those. But when I drove the Performance Model 3 in San Luis Obispo, I felt like it's just super fast, super fun car, but it's maybe not the most pleasant daily driver. So I want to take it out again and just see if my first impressions were correct. If this is more, if you're gonna be going to the track, that type of thing, or maybe I just I don't know, wasn't in a good mood, I don't know, and just see maybe I was wrong. So I'm gonna give you guys my impressions in real time here. So getting on the road, man, so much power. The power is fun, you can't deny that. But the dual motor is still super quick. This is just like crazy quick, or like they say on the acceleration here, insane is the fastest speed. But I want to really see how the road noise is, because I felt like it was more road noise on the Model 3 Performance than the other vehicles. And but man, that power it just wants to go, and I'm like, I gotta take it easy here. It's a little frustrating driving a car like this in traffic, because you just have so much power available, and it feels like everybody's going slow. Of course, you know, this is there's always traffic in LA. Okay, so far it does feel pretty quiet, does seem pretty smooth. Of course, my car is a 2018 dual motor, and it just doesn't have the good sound dampening and quiet cabin like this one does. The 2024 Model 3s have the acoustic glass all around, windshield, windows, rear window, glass roof. It's all acoustic glass, so that helps a ton. Plus they have these softer interior materials, and so all of that helps with the sound levels. So far the ride it's not bad. I would say it's probably smoother than my car with older suspension, but it's not quite as smooth as the single motor or dual motor, which is expected because this has the low profile tires, it has this more sporty suspension. Now there is some settings here you can change under dynamics. Right now it is under sport, ride and handling. I'm going to change it to standard and see if that helps with these bumps. I think standard doesn't necessarily help with the bumps, but it does help with the firmness of the suspension. So it feels a lot more body roll. So when I change lanes, I feel the car wobbling more, versus when I go to sport, it feels much more planted, not wobbling around. So I'd probably just keep it in sport most of the time, because it doesn't seem to help with the bumps necessarily, just with the feel of the quickness of the steering and the cornering. Okay, I'm gonna do starting at 60. It's like 60 to 80 is like instant. It's wild. Okay, here we go. 60 to 80. 1, 2, boom, 80. Now I think they limit the speed to 85, so right before I hit 80 I can feel the motors backing off because they limit the speed. So it's hard to get a real feel for that. Now I believe this has full self-driving. If I put on the blinker, it should change lanes for me. There we go. So the latest version is supposed to work without you having to touch the wheel, without the nags. I'm going to exit here because I'm on a time limit. Okay, I'm going to let the car go in full self-driving mode. Let's see how it does. What version are we? 12.5.1.1. So this is the latest version that is supposed to be super advanced, super reliable, and not require you to touch the wheel just to pay attention. I guess it watches your eyes. Left onto Roscoe. Of course, when you have a performance Model 3, unless you're stuck in traffic, you're probably not going to be using the full self-driving very often. But it is pretty cool when you're on a long road trip or in heavy traffic, and anytime you want to take over from full self-driving, you just move the steering wheel to take control or hit the brake. So I'm not doing anything. Just navigating to now take the Interstate 5 South ramp on the left. Going over the line just like everyone else. So this latest version, it really drives more like a human. It doesn't necessarily try to obey every single rule perfectly, but to drive more in a practical way. So it's pretty cool. It feels like driving the way I would. Alright, that's enough of that. Let's go. Okay, so I have to say, the first time I drove the Performance Model 3, I felt like it was just too fast and just more car than you need, and just not as comfortable as the single or dual motor. And I do believe the single and dual motor is best for most people. But if you feel like you really want top of the line, this is still a really comfortable car. But if you just need a car for commuting and you don't need crazy fast acceleration, the single motor, I would highly recommend it. It's still an amazing car. It's still really quick. You're not gonna beat a Porsche off the line, probably 0 to 60, but once you get up to speed, a single motor is amazing. Quicker than most people will ever need. The dual motor, super fast, and then the performance car, it's just, you're probably gonna get into trouble. So unless you really need the fastest car and you go to the track, I mean, look at that. It's like, and you go to the track, I mean, look at that. It's like 60 to 75 in like 1 second. You're gonna go through tires. You're gonna feel the bumps a little more. But if you take your car to the canyons and you really are gonna use that performance, I mean, this car is amazing. But you know, you can always get the dual motor. You can add a rear spoiler. You can do some things to make it, you know, look a little sportier. You can put the low profile tires, and I think for most people that'll be fine. My car, it's just the stock dual motor with a boost, and it's great. It's great on the canyons. It's great, you know, accelerating on the freeway. And I just have the 18-inch wheels. So for most people, that'll be fine. And now that you can get the tax credit on the single motor and the dual motor, as well as the Performance Model 3, those are great options for most people. And the single motor, now they have a version that goes, I think, 363 miles, whereas before the single motor only option was 270 miles. So with the tax credit, I think the car is 42. After the tax credit is about 35, if you qualify for the federal tax credit. So I want to see how it handles this bump here, because my car, it shakes my whole car going over this this little drainage area. See how the Performance Model 3 does. Okay, so Not crazy, not quite as bad as my car, but the single motor and the dual motor suspension seems to really do amazing on that bump there. You feel it, but it's not bad. It doesn't shake the whole car. So that's what I mean is, like, if it's your daily driver, you'll really enjoy the single motor or the dual motor. If you drive on dirt roads, or you live in an area where there's snow, or you know, a lot of rain, the dual motor is great because it's such amazing,
turn right onto South San Fernando
amazing traction all the time. But you know, especially for most of us Californians, you don't really need a dual motor all-wheel drive. It's just such a good car. The new 2024 Model 3, and the performance model is amazing. Such incredible power and handling, but you lose that comfortable ride in some ways. So just be aware of that. 2 hours in LA traffic. Finally made it here to Tesla West Covina. So here's the Cybertruck I just drove. Super unique experience. Definitely drives like none of the other Teslas. Have fun. Try to keep it under 100. I don't think they limited it.